Hello and welcome to this video. This is going to be an update on a product I've already reviewed, already had, but something a little bit different, and it is kind of new back into my world, and I'm talking about the Insta360 Go 3. There you go. Really fantastic little camera, and I thought I'd wear my Newcastle shirt. Black and white, kind of relevant because we had the white version of this and now we have the black. So this has been out a couple of months. The white version had been out 8 or 9 months, I think, at this point, because I think I had it about this time last year, but maybe it was actually summer last year. So there we go. What I've done at this point is I am selling my GoPro, and there'll be possibly an OfferUp link in the description below and an eBay link. I think I've got them on both platforms because I'm selling my GoPro. Which, if anyone knows, it started this channel. It started my whole videography YouTube story with my father-in-law gifting me a GoPro and my brother-in-law's all GoPros for Christmas, not this year, but the year before. Really just got my brain working what we could do. We had a new son at that point and had a lot of time to fill, and I started shooting like family videos and really got invested, and then got drones, got cameras, started YouTube, all that fun stuff. So GoPro is a big thing, right? And I didn't ask for permission. I told my father-in-law out of respect to say, hey, by the way, I'm selling the GoPro because you gifted it to me. It's fantastic. It started this whole thing. He said I should engrave it or enshrine it and put it on the wall, which is not a bad idea. But I am replacing it with the Insta360 Go 3. And I had the Go 2. No, what am I saying? I had the Go 3 in white when it first came out. End up returning it just because it didn't seem right at that point to have that camera. I felt like the GoPro fit that need, but now I feel like this little thumb-sized camera actually fulfills a bigger need now in life than what the GoPro did. So GoPro has been fantastic this whole time. GoPro 11, we've used it so much for different case scenarios, for underwater stuff, just for a lot. And it was actually even my primary camera before I got my Sony, and I got the media mod and the shotgun mic and all that stuff to make it into like a media type camera. And it, again, served a great purpose. But since I had the Go 3 in white, it's kind of haunted. It sounds weird. It haunted me a little bit. Like I kept going back thinking, oh, I could really use that camera for this and for that. And I would really like to try this out. And there's just so many things that a small little tiny thumb-sized camera can do and can get into places that just other cameras cannot. And I kept going back to it and I kept looking at the prices, and then of course they come along and they release a black version. So I'm thinking that is a sleek looking camera, sleek looking design, and they've really gone for a matte black look so that it really does not draw attention when you're doing anything other than, you know, the little light there that you can see blinking. Because say I'm wearing black right here, you know, you have the lanyard that goes down you magnetically, and it's not drawing too much attention. Now the white one I think did. I don't know, I don't really wear white too much, so when I had the white version of this and I clipped it to myself, you know, it's kind of like that. It's the reverse of that, right? It's black on white, white on black, so you can clearly see there's something there. On a shirt like this, you might not take a second look, but if you're just wearing like a plain black shirt or a jacket and you've got a little white camera attached to you, then yeah, it's going to draw a little bit more attention than what a black version would. And they did a really good job with making this matte and not shiny, very, very matte. And not only that, the side on this thing, when I first got it, I kind of got it out of the box. I was driving, don't do that. And actually I was in a car wash, so it was fine. And I got it out and I dropped it down the side of the thing, and it's small, right? So I went down, picked it up, and I felt the side of it and I thought, oh, there's cardboard or there's some type of wrapper or something on the side of this thing. I need to get it off. And I pull it out and I look at it, and no, it's just textured. They made it textured, made it a little bit grippier, and it really just feel very different and took me by surprise when I first felt it. Weird little thing, I know, but it's a difference with this. So it's just so versatile. And I did, with the white one, ended up putting that on my Mini 3 drone, if I remember correctly. Possibly the Avata, but I think just the Mini 3. And I just used the suction mount and didn't go too well. I wouldn't recommend that because the Mini 3 is a small drone. I used the sticky pad, and when you put it on the top, it blocked the antennas for the GPS, which of course these drones need. When I put it underneath, it blocked the downward sensors, right? So I couldn't put it in a spot where really it worked. So I put it up, trusting the adhesive, right, on that little sticky pad to work, and it did. It didn't. The camera didn't fall off, but it did mess with the drone sensors, so I wouldn't recommend that. I've subsequently, since I got this, put this on my Air 3, and same deal. I actually bought like a bracket that went around in a very specific spot, and I kind of hoped they designed it in a way that it wouldn't interfere with the sensors and the GPS. It does interfere with the GPS. It doesn't interfere with the downward sensors because there's little cutouts and stuff to really fit nicely around the body, but it does interfere with the GPS. So when I kind of flew up, it limited my speed and my height, I think it was. I couldn't really do too much, but I did get a unique perspective with this thing attached to my drone. Then I've got the DJI Avata 2 behind me. I have just ordered a kind of a cheap, I watched a YouTube video about it, and it was something called the Stupid Idea mount. Don't quote me on that one, but something along them lines. And it's a mount that goes on the DJI Avata 2. And the way they designed that thing is real cool. And I will be putting this on top because obviously these drones can absolutely, actually, they could get this whole thing, the like GoPro sized camera in this sense. It could easily fly with this on there. Now, obviously less aerodynamic with this on top, but without a doubt, it's handling this thing. You wouldn't even know that the mounting system is probably a little bit heavier than this with like the thumb screws and stuff is probably heavier than this. This I think is 3 grams. So this will end up on a DJI Avata 2, and I'm going to be learning FPV soon as well. So we might get some cool stuff. And really it's just to capture the unique, because on my Air 3, the cameras are fantastic. Don't have to worry about cameras on that one, but just to capture a unique perspective of like what you're doing and what you're seeing with the drone in your field of vision. I think that's cool. Or maybe it's even like you, the drone, and then the camera. So like you're seeing yourself. But the Air 3's camera is crazy good. So I don't have to worry about that. But the Avata, I mean, same thing. The Avata 2, the camera is really, really good. But just to capture a unique perspective of the drone doing maybe flips and rolls and whatever, but being able to see the drone in its perspective and in the view, in the frame, that I think it's just cool to get. So it's not really for any specific purpose other than it's certainly not to like get the best video quality ever possible, period, because this thing's 2.7K, it's not 4K. So it's not to get the best possible footage out of a camera. But of course, I mean, I still have my GoPro. I haven't sold it yet, unless some lucky person wants to buy it from me. Go ahead, link in the description, possibly if it's not already sold. But I can also put the GoPro on top at that point because I still have it. That's 4K, great. So we'll see how that works out. But really, I just want to put this video out there and say it's back in our lives, back to black, back to the Go 3, and I'm excited to just use this. I've got a cool setup where I had my Sony camera and I rigged it so that basically this thing sits in front of it, and think of this here recording the camera and connected. You can't really see the arm too much in the shot, but basically you get a perspective of the camera, or even like of, say, me holding the camera, taking pictures, taking videos, and in a fixed position. So I was like, I'm moving it, and I put the camera by my side, the camera swings down with it, and is just focusing on the camera. And again, just weird to say out loud, and I'll put the footage up, of course, but just to get a perspective like that, it's just kind of cool, like lifting the camera up to your face, holding the camera like this, and you're moving around with the camera all in a fixed position. It's like the opposite, right? You're so used to a camera moving, and everything moves around the camera, and maybe it's cool to see a shot where everything else is moving around, but the camera is in a fixed position in the frame, which this allowed me to do. So it also gives me, excuse me, the ability. I'm going to use this, I think, the whole bunch for top-down views. Played around with it a little bit, but still perfecting how the rig of setting up a top-down view. So one, it's either out of the frame, out of all this stuff, where it's here. But it's going to come in handy for my wife's cake stuff. We're going to be doing tutorials soon for what she does with bougie cakes and her cool, awesome stuff there. So I've played around with this a little bit of getting like again, that same either point of view, POV shot, or top-down view of what she's doing with my camera coming in at a different angle for some type of tutorials we're going to be doing. So many possibilities. It's waterproof. This thing's so cool. I'll go back to the drawbacks of this thing, which I've said in my original video when I did a review of the Go 3 in white when I originally got it, is the memory on this thing. I got the 126, I think it is, the highest of that you can get, because I just don't want to worry about memory. Now, I do like to, as soon as I've done something, get the footage off onto my computer or onto a hard drive. I'm very good and efficient at doing that, but I don't want to have to worry about filling it up. Now, you're obviously filming in 2.7K or less, which means your files are not going to be as big as an 8K file. Great. I got the bigger memory because I don't want to have to worry about it. So that's one thing. It would be nice to have a memory card. Even if like this had internal memory and this had a memory card, that would just be a cool thing. This is waterproof. This is not. The fix there would be, if in a Go 3, this could be waterproof, if this could be a 4K. Just these little things would be awesome if that was all a thing. It's not. They've done a fantastic job with this though, and just the fact that it's in black. I talked about discreetness and in my previous review, and it's not a weird thing like I want to be sneakily filming people, but it's just a fact of I don't want to be drawing attention. If I had my Sony camera on a gimbal with its big lens and a shotgun mic on the top of it, people are looking like, what's that person doing? People aren't really looking if this is in my hand or if this is attached to me on a black shirt or a dark shirt. They're not really caring, it's kind of like a little body cam almost, or a dash cam. Yeah, people really aren't caring. And the cool perspective you can get with this camera is just, it's a cool little valuable piece of kit that I'm enjoying and I'm looking forward to use a lot more. But it's discreet, which it doesn't draw attention to you. Having people like, why are you filming blah, blah, blah in public? Okay, whatever. People do TikToks in the middle of public places, and I'm sure people do bat an eyelid, but that's obviously a thing these days. So for me, just being not causing too much attention, great. Now, I did also sell my DJI Pocket 3. That is a cool, small, discrete camera as well. I just had a different need. I've actually got a secondary Sony camera now, which I basically sold the Pocket 3 to get this, because this camera, as well as my other Sony camera, is the setup I need at this point in time. But the DJI Pocket 3, same thing, that kind of draws a little bit of attention. When I was testing that around Christmas time with my family at a mall in Vegas, someone walked by and like, hey, is that the new Osmo DJI Pocket 3? And I was like, yeah. And it drew a little bit of attention because you've got this camera on a gimbal and you're doing stuff. So back to the fact, this thing is just so small and tiny and cool. All right, let's get a little bit of light on this thing. There we go. There's the money shot right there. So got my blurry ugly mug in the back, but this sleek, tiny little thumb-shaped camera that's so small and unique and waterproof and fun to play with. You just do a little tap, and now we're recording. There we go, right in the lens. Okay, so in review, I'm so happy to have this back in my life. Been thinking about it for a long time. It sounds so odd when you say it like that, but it has literally been living rent-free in my mind for quite a while, thinking at some point I'm going to get that Go 3 again at some point. And then they released the black one. I'm like, the black one's so sleek and so cool. And it's been out a couple of months now. But then it came to light where I'm like, let's sell my GoPro to get this and to serve a little bit more purpose and do a few things that I want to do with it. So comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But Go 3, there you go. And again, I thought it'd be relevant to wear my black and white shirt because we're talking about black cameras, white cameras, all that fun stuff. So Toon Black and White Army, that's a Newcastle reference if you didn't know. If you know soccer, you know soccer, you know what that is. So have a great day. Bye.